Hello, this is JOMAJ Studios, and this is our original fantasy action adventure, Slay, The Path of a Saint, Episode 9. The only thing Nee could think of doing next was seeing what I had come up with. It was almost time for evening prep, so he assumed I was in the classroom area. He was walking past the library when Kuma's 4 zombies stood in his way. It was obvious they were waiting for him. Nee slowly moved off the path into grassland, and the zombies leaped and somersaulted until they had all surrounded him. They thought he was running away, which was far from the truth. At that stage of his life, without empowerment, he couldn't take on a master demon or any form of evil that was just as powerful. Anything else was not a problem. The zombies Nee classed as anything else. Nee moved off the path to get out of the rays of the streetlight shining directly on it, to reduce the likelihood of having an audience. Unlike the Slayer's first encounter with them, he didn't hold back, and he responded to the attacks by dodging and blocking with extreme aggression. After about 45 minutes of dodging and blocking, he found beating them all at once without empowerment was near impossible. But beating them one at a time was within his capabilities. Chike then did a leg sweep, which Nee avoided with a backward somersault, and then followed up with a series of backflips to get away from them. He was using the run and fight technique, which meant him running away, allowing them to chase him, and then stopping to fight the nearest zombie. But in order for this to work, Nee needed to be very fast. As hoped for, one zombie was a much faster pursuer than the rest. As Nee backflipped away, Chike began to front flip after him with immense speed. He was so fast that despite Nee's head start, Chike was able to leap and land behind him. He then came at Nee with every kind of kick in existence, with speed and precision. Even though Nee could match his speed, avoiding his attacks was far from easy. At one point, Chike executed an aerial roundhouse kick, which just about missed Nee. As the zombie landed, the Slayer greeted him with a flying jab in the face, which dazed Chike, and before he could recover, Nee used his legs to break his neck. Expecting him to die instantly, Nee was shocked to see Chike simply twist his head back to its rightful position. Like I mentioned earlier on, Nee was shocked, and he didn't have time to be shocked, as the Slayer soon found out, when Chike retaliated with another roundhouse kick, which connected well with the side of his face, causing Nee to spin off his feet to the floor. The Slayer recovered quickly but not quick enough. Nee was still on the floor when all 4 zombies surrounded him again. One of them kicked Nee hard in the stomach, which made the Slayer leave the floor like a soccer ball. He hit the ground back first, about 30 meters away from where they were standing. As Nee just about got to his feet, another plan came to him. He was going to hack them into as many pieces as possible. The Slayer then brought out Bill, which he had been carrying everywhere with him since the Christiana incident, unleashed his blades and threw it at his foes, who had already begun running towards him. Spinning through the air, Bill beheaded all 4 zombies, but the headless bodies were still running towards Nee. Working like a boomerang, Bill was back in Nee's hand before his headless assailants began attacking. Seconds later, the Slayer found himself dodging and hacking from all angles until the attacking stopped and there were body parts everywhere. It was then Nee noticed a red star in the sky hovering over the art block area. The red star had been in the sky all through his fight with the zombies, which meant whatever was happening under the star was now probably too late to stop. That didn't stop him from trying, but something got in his way. All the body parts melted into a black liquid substance and then merged together in front of him. The liquid then became a 15-foot dragon-like creature, which was red in color with razor-sharp teeth and claws with a long, powerful tail. As Nee sighted the demon, empowerment came to him like a breath of fresh air. All his aches and pains vanished. He could feel the extra strength surging through his body. It was like his batteries were fully recharged. The demon thrust his head at him like a rhino. Nee, in turn, leaped straight up into the air, avoiding its attack, and coming down with an axe kick that went through the dragon's neck like a hot knife through butter. The creature's head fell off, but before its head hit the ground, the whole monster disintegrated. Nee looked up again, and the star had gone. He ran desperately to view what he had missed. You see, while Nee had begun engaging Ajib's zombies in battle, Rebecca was on her way to class, still upset with him. As she entered her crowded classroom to get 1 or 2 textbooks, she met Ajib sitting comfortably on her seat. "Hey there," greeted Ajib with a smile on his face. "Hi," responded Rebecca, who clearly had things on her mind. "Are you all right?" "I'm fine," answered Rebecca with a blatant lie. "You know, it does help to talk about things. And I know if you don't talk about whatever is bothering you, you'll never be able to study." "You're right." "Of course I'm right. So why don't we take a walk and talk things over?" Soon enough, Ajib and his potential male began walking and talking. "It's Nee. I can't figure him out. I mean, I've had a crush on him since I've met him. I even told him one time." "What did he say?" asked Ajibula, as they both got as far as the art block and sat themselves down comfortably on its corridor. I had just broken up with Tokwe. He said he wouldn't be right. I respected that since he's been a real good friend, but I still hold feelings for him. Before midterm, I tried to get even closer to him, but he completely ignored me. Now he sees us getting close and he... She said, then hesitating. And he what? Asked Ajibula. Ajibs, why would Nee come up to me and tell me you are dangerous? Nee is a nice guy, and he means well. As for me, I just want to eat, said Ajibula as his eyes lit up into a fiery state. Rebecca was now so shocked she couldn't even scream. Without hesitation, she started making a run for it, but there was no escape. She hadn't even run up to 5 meters when she found herself bumping into Ajibula, who grabbed her. Don't panic, girl. I only want you for your body, Ajibula said in a deep demonic voice, as he metamorphosed into Kuma's true form, with Rebecca still in its hands. Out of nowhere, I kicked the master demon off my classmate. Rebecca crawled into a corner and watched as I began to engage the demon in battle. My kick, as powerful as it was, to Kuma was nothing more than a mere push. Kuma began swinging its tail at me as soon as it hit the floor, but I was too fast and agile. At one point, I rolled under Kuma's tail and greeted it with an uppercut that connected right with its chin, throwing the demon several feet away. Kuma, now frustrated, pounced right at me, but Kuma catching me that way was near impossible, for I moved 10 times faster than a cheetah and was 20 times more agile than a monkey. As my feet touched the ground to gain momentum to leap into action once again, hands made out of stone emerged from out of the ground and held onto my feet. Kuma was tired of physically attacking me and now resorted to using its other powers. I couldn't break free. Kuma wasted no time in making use of this opportunity and struck me in the face with its tail, dazing me instantly. Kuma then jumped right at me and drove its razor-sharp claws through me. Like I mentioned earlier, I wasn't invulnerable. I was just as fast and strong as Nee when empowered, but I couldn't cheat death. I was dead before Kuma took its claw out of me. When Nee arrived at the scene, he found my body on the floor, and beside it Rebecca's houseware covered in blood and torn into pieces. No, God, no, Nee said quietly to himself as he dropped to his knees to take a closer look at what he had found. How do you expect to protect the world when you can't even protect your friends? As a slayer, I must say you're pretty incompetent, said a voice from behind me. It was Kuma back in the form of Ajibula. Nee had never been filled with so much rage. He ran screaming with the intent to kill Ajibula, but Ajibula just smiled as he grabbed and flung the slayer into the large space of sand filled in between the classroom area and the staff quarters. Nee flipped up to his feet. It wasn't empowerment driving him now. All that was driving him was anger and good old-fashioned adrenaline. Ajibula leaped and landed in front of Nee. As his feet touched the ground, a set of flames surrounded them, creating a circular arena with a circumference of about 100 meters. Well, seeing as I killed Tayo, crippled Tochiko, turned Tokwe into a raving lunatic and ate your lovely Rebecca, I think it's only right that you have the chance to avenge your friend's demise, like a true hero. For a servant of the darkness, I'm really not that bad, don't you think? Nee didn't reply. He just ran at him, throwing all sorts of kicks and punches. Ajibula just kept dodging and laughing until he finally punched Nee in the stomach and followed it up with an uppercut, which threw the slayer several feet away from him. Come on now. You should be able to do much better than that, said Ajibula as he began kicking Nee on the floor. Ajib then grabbed Nee by the neck with one hand and raised him off the floor. Like a helpless worm on a hook, the slayer struggled. You really must hate me. It would be a shame to waste all that rage, said Ajibula, throwing Nee back on the floor. Ajibula then spread his hands out and closed his eyes. There was a blinding flash of red light. The next thing Nee saw was Kuma lying on the floor dazed in its true form. The demon that feeds mainly on the anger of any mortal tried to possess Nee and feed on his anger. However, Nee wasn't an ordinary mortal. Nothing could possess him without his full consent. When Kuma tried, he got hit hard. It was like a man trying to walk through a door without opening it first. Kuma got knocked out and Ajibula's body got disintegrated in the process, which meant Kuma had no human corpse to hide behind. Nee was standing right in front of it, fully empowered. He grabbed the demon by the neck, and as it tried to hit him with its tail, the slayer caught the tail and used it to fling the demon in the air. The slayer then leaped into the air after Kuma and broke the demon into two halves with his knee as it fell back down. As Nee landed on the floor, he sighted Kuma's upper body trying to crawl away. Through its back, the slayer ripped out the master demon's heart. After that, Kuma burnt up into thin air screaming. 2 days later, late in the evening, Tokwe staggered through the school's bush trying to keep at bay his demon side, which had been slowly gaining full control of him since being scratched by Ajibs. Despite all his efforts, he could feel his humanity slipping away. As the last piece of person that loved his family and friends with a desire to protect the innocent began to fade, Tokpe's sighted knee standing in front of him, fully empowered, holding Bill in his hand. Tokpe smiled, for he knew Nee would fulfill his promise. Tears streamed down the Slayer's face as he unleashed Bill's saber and readied himself to face an attacking Tokpe, who seconds later became 100% demon. That is the end of Volume 1. The scripture for this episode is 2 Corinthians 4, verse 17 to 18. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes on not what is seen, but what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, but what is unseen is eternal. How would you relate this scripture to this episode, and how would you relate this scripture to your life? Be on the lookout for Volume 2 and leave your answers on any of JOMAJ Studios' social media platforms, which can be found at jomajstudios.com. The Fall of Nell is now available on paperback and Kindle at Amazon. For more details, go to jomajstudios.com and click on Bookstore. Also at jomajstudios.com, you can check out our YouTube page, Facebook page, Twitter page, and our Instagram page, and other website features. See how you can get involved with us at jomajstudios.com.